Do you know how bad I would love to be a normal human being? Do you know how bad I would not want to engage in fantasy every 15 fucking seconds? I mean, my fantasies are so fucking intense half the time that I live them, that I act out in repetitive movements and I get emotional. I can have mood swings or I could just burst out with random profanity or just talking to myself right in the middle of public because when I fantasize, they manifest. Everything from the physiology of my brain is affected by my fantasy. It makes me tend to be non-assertive. I'm vulnerable for people to bully me. I've been dealing with bullies. I've been dealing with all kinds of persecutions, people mistreating me. I have very low self-esteem. And I have tried to be normal. People see the potential in me. I do not want to have a mental illness. I hate being this way. And I'm not going to talk about that. I've accepted the fact that I have schizoid personality disorder and I'm not a normal person. People think just because you have the capacity to function, just because you're highly intelligent, you're highly self-aware, that, oh, you can just overcome this. You know what pisses me off about people is that they speak out of ignorance. They don't have this condition, so how would they know? How would they know what the schizotypal or the schizophrenic goes through, the manic depressive? Unless you have these conditions, you would never really understand. How can you judge someone suffering from depression? Do you know, I mean, everyone has an idea of a form of depression, but when you suffer from clinical depression, I mean, regardless of the circumstance, regardless of how good your life is, your serotonin's always low, your lack of dopamine. I mean, you feel complete dead. You cannot function. It is a miserable existence, and yet people say, oh, you want to be depressed. No, they don't. If you had zero serotonin in your brain, in the physiology of your brain, you would be just as miserable as they are. You'd be doing the same thing as they are. And another thing about certain people, I'm dealing with, I deal with the psychology community online, I've been studying psychology for years, particularly abnormal psychology. But I hate it when I mention things dealing with, conditions such as matter after daydreaming syndrome or schizoid or schizotype personality disorder, and I say these conditions make people predisposed or predisposition to be influenced by the demonic. They say, oh, well, it's not right for you to say these people are demon possessed. There's a difference between being demon possessed and being demonically influenced. There is a big difference. I'm not saying the matter of the daydreaming, the schizotype or the schizoid are under demonic oppression. I'm saying their conditions make them predisposed to be under that influence. The schizotypal especially. I'm speaking to them. They have, I read the definition when it talks about they believe they have extrasensual abilities. That's not a belief, my friend. Schizotypals do have extrasensual abilities. They can see in different dimensions. It's not delusions. The physiology of their brain, that element where they can see. And they're very self-aware of this. We like to say, well, these people, they're delusional or they're crazy. No, they're not. They have a condition that makes them dysfunctional. But they're not crazy people because they're very self-aware of what they're doing. Crazy or insanity is when someone is not aware what they're doing, what they're saying. Schizotypals are perfectly aware. They're not insane. They're not crazy. Me, I have a schizoid fantasy. My fantasies feel so intense half the time that I can't even function. It has affected my personal hygiene. It has affected how I go at. I have a limited range. I have a limited array of emotions. I have a hard time being around people. I hate being around people. I just want to keep to myself. But I enjoy, entertaining myself. It's hard for me to enjoy outside conversations because the physiology of my brain is wired to function from within, not without. People wonder why, Monty, why you're not assertive, or you're passive, or you seem to be weak. It's my condition. What exactly is the point of this video? It's a rambling video, but I'm just saying, man, I don't choose to be an abnormal. No one chooses. I was just born this way.